Over here, I like to think that Gary Gensler has no relevance, but in a sense, he kind of does, being the chair guy for the SEC, Security Exchange Commissioner. Most of these guys who are most of the exchanges who are regulated under registered and regulated under the SEC, they have to comply. And if these are one of the platforms that most people use to buy their cryptocurrency or technology or all these things, whatever you go on there to find information, store your data or your information on there, you have to be reading about these stuff. As much as you do not want to read about it, you're just going to have to read about it. So this article is coming from blockworks.co and is written by Casey Wagner on March 2nd, 2023. Crypto industry has more appetite to fight. Of course. And it will always have it. We've been fighting for 14 years. Coinbase and Kraken are confident. Coinbase and Kraken is a crypto exchange. That's where you go and you buy your crypto or you store it there. You're supposed to be storing it there, right? Because if they bankrupt, all your assets are gone. But there are two regulated crypto exchanges. Coinbase and Kraken are confident tokens listed on their platforms are not securities, regulatory leaders from the exchanges said. The SEC is after crypto, but Coinbase and Kraken say their operations are sound, as enforcement actions alleging unregistered security offers heat up in the US. Coinbase and Kraken are confident tokens listed on their platforms are not securities. But Gary Gensler, what did Gary Gensler said, guys? Isn't he your boss? Regulatory leaders from the exchanges said Thursday, we are uncomfortable. Quote, we are comfortable that the products we are offering in the US are not securities. Scott Boguz, Vice President of Global Regulatory Policy at Coinbase, said during a panel discussion at the Milken Institute Future of Digital Asset Symposium in Washington, D.C. Thursday. The tokens on Coinbase do not behave like securities, pointing to the lack of dividends and residual interest. But he said, even if all the tokens were real securities, Coinbase could make it work. What would we do? The simple answer is it could be done with sensible rules. Jonathan Jachem, global head of policy at Kraken, agreed with when it comes to advancing exchange policy, leaders need to think about how to adjust current laws to fit crypto, he added. Disclosures, market integrity, conflict of interest rules. It's not reinventing the wheel. These policies have existed for a long time, but there are a nuisance with the technology. Jeshams, I might be messing this man's name up. I'm not lying, but Jashums, I think Jashums comments come shortly after the exchange opted to settle with the SEC for $30 million and an agreement to discontinue its staking product. Even though Kraken decided against a court battle, Jashim said the industry is ready to fight. Really? So after you pay the SEC $30 million, that's when you're like, yo, we're ready to fight. You think we're done fighting? After you slap me up? After you beat me and I drop on the ground and you kick me up a bunch of times, I get up, I gave you all my lunch. Yo, the fight is not over, yo. It's not over. But that's what they're saying. Appetite to litigate this industry is as high as it's ever been, he said. Settlements, Ledger's global head of policy, Seth Hertlin, said, cannot create a precedent for future disputes, but a court case could change the game. Settlement did not create any new rules or law in the United States. It is not, and it's not binding to anyone besides Kraken who agree to it. Hertlin said, The scope is actually quite limited. Kraken's move was strategic, Jasham said, and the exchange looks forward to more guidance around staking. That decision to settle was a business decision. Okay, I understand, Jasham said. A $30 million penalty is about 3% of our business right now. Wow. Go ahead there, Jasham. Due to the settlement terms, we are not able to directly discuss the debate, the contents of the settlement. All right, I hear you. But I wanted to read this because, you know, of the what's been going on in the industry when it comes to Gary Gensler labeling all crypto securities. Here you have two companies that are registered under the SEC that are saying, listen, our thirst goes deeper. It goes deep. We will not give up in this technology that we believe in. We're willing to sacrifice bankruptcy. Hence why the crypto industry always tell people, not your keys, not your money. Take those purchases that you've purchased off of these exchanges and put them in a cold wallet. Because these guys are willing. These decisions that they're making is not on the behalf of us. It's on the behalf of their company. So even though majority or some of the things might benefit the investors, it's not on your behalf. That's why these guys can take crazy risk and then end up in the dumpster with all of its investors' assets erased from their platform. So please do your due diligence. If you're not taking risks, and this is not financial advice, but if you do have an investment on exchanges, try to get a cold wallet and put them on, get them off of the exchange, because the exchange can disappear just like that. And where's your money? There's no security there. So maybe Gary Gensler should be looking at this exchanges instead of the technology and the innovation. Look up the exchanges. They're the one that can damage the investors more so than the technology, right? Because they come up saying, okay, we're gonna buy into crypto, we're selling it to you at this price, and then you go ahead and buy it thinking that these people are legit based off how the technology that they use to identify you, other than email, right? You know, no guys, do not sign up with no exchanges that just want your email address. That's it. Come on now, you're gonna send something. That's it. All right, so. Right, and then but these guys can just get up and done. They can literally file registered or unregistered. They can literally file for bankruptcy. Where is your asset? It's gone. As Gary Gensler said in the previous article that we read, when a company goes bankrupt, an exchange goes bankrupt, all of those assets go to the bankruptcy state. It doesn't directly go back to the investors. So keep that in mind. That's a food for thought right there as I finish this video. Take care, guys. Thank you for showing up to class. Later.